Sports, 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 sports.
Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to Sportsball, part of the SPDM Crew Podcasting Network. We talk about sports-related topics, but we focus on you, the fan, and what you like, whether it's a sport, event, athlete, team, or sports-related news. This week, it is almost time for the fantasy football playoffs, which means that I'm going to do some football predictions, particularly when it comes to the playoffs. Now, as of right now, let's pull up the football standings. Let's see. Right now, okay. That meets that standing. Okay. So we have several teams right now who are already eliminated from playoff contention, and we have several teams that are just very much on the bubble of the playoffs. We've got a couple teams who have clinched already. So the Los Angeles Rams and the Denver Broncos have already clinched playoff spots. They are not the overall number one seeds just yet. However, it's looking pretty good for both of them. You've got in the AFC current standings right now, this would be the playoff bracket. We've got the Denver Broncos. Number two would be the New England Patriots. Number three would be the Jacksonville Jaguars. Number four would be the Pittsburgh Steelers. Inexplicably, like, I don't understand how the Pittsburgh Steelers keep doing it, but whatever. Your wild cards are the Los Angeles Chargers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Houston Texans, and still kind of hanging out there, not eliminated from playoff contention, but on the outside looking in and need some help. You've got the Indianapolis Colts and the Baltimore Ravens. From looking at all of this, a couple of things that I see. Your top three teams in the AFC are all pretty unproven, and I don't think any of them are going to make it that far because the Broncos, their defense is, and New England for that matter, their defense has kept them afloat pretty much most of the season. Drake May and Bo Nix, they're fine in terms of their offensive productivity, but neither of them have very strong weapons. So I'm kind of curious to see if either one of them could rise to the occasion, especially in the absence of Kansas City, who is officially mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. Then from there, Jacksonville, I just kind of want to see if Jacksonville has what it takes to compete with the big boys longer than a couple weeks because Trevor Lawrence has been playing out of his mind and that defense has been pretty good. But Jacksonville just, I can't see it right now. As for Pittsburgh, so the AFC North, which is usually one of those divisions that traditionally has a really good, really competitive group between the Steelers and the Ravens. Unfortunately, the Steelers are probably who I trust the most because Baltimore has been wildly inconsistent all season long. I think it would kind of be a bit of a disservice to have them in the playoffs this year, but what do I know? But you look at it, the Chargers and the Buffalo Bills, they're 10-4, and the Texans, their defense is peaking at the right time. CJ Stroud is still okay generally. Their skill positions not that great, but I'm seeing just all these teams in the AFC have not only have fatal flaws, but they're just kind of not very good, very unproven teams. And I think the AFC is going to struggle in the playoffs this year simply because Kansas City isn't there to, just kind of steamroll everybody. If I'm picking anybody to come out of the AFC out of this current group, Buffalo's got to be a strong favorite, right? Because Buffalo has kind of been there, done that. Kansas City's not in the way anymore. This is a good opportunity for Buffalo to kick it into gear. But if they're going to have to go on the road, which they've had to go on the road plenty of times and, make things happen, I'm not sure their defense can hold up at all. So Buffalo is kind of my default pick to get it out of the AFC, but don't sleep on, I guess, New England. Don't sleep on Jacksonville, I guess. And I guess a dark horse pick would be the Chargers, even though their offense is wildly inconsistent. turning to turning to the NFC, which the NFC feels like a murderer's row of all kinds of different teams. So you've got the Rams currently in first place, the Chicago Bears somehow atop the NFC North in second place, the Philadelphia Eagles, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Then your wild card teams currently right now are the Seattle Seahawks, the San Francisco 49ers, and the Green Bay Packers. Still on the outside looking in, but still have a chance. Not a very good chance, but still have a chance. The Detroit Lions, the Carolina Panthers, and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Carolina Panthers, that one's going to come down to the wire, which I don't understand how that's possible at all, but we'll see about that. The NFC East, look, Dallas could potentially get in, but that would be a historic collapse by the Philadelphia Eagles, and more importantly, that would be a historic collapse from a Super Bowl winner as well. So I don't see a whole lot of scenarios where the Eagles don't make it into the postseason, and that just means that Dallas is out. So in reality, one of the teams in the NFC North are not making it into the playoffs because Seattle and Los Angeles have double-digit wins. Same thing with the 49ers. I don't believe that much in the 49ers because everybody's banged up on the 49ers as usual. So I don't see a whole lot of I don't see a scenario there. And it's interesting because the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears, there's a bunch of combinations where I know Chicago still has to play the Packers. They're going to play the Packers this weekend. And I do believe that they're going to play the Bears or the Bears and the Lions. They're going to play again. It's the last game of the year. So they played in week 2 and they got the shit kicked out of them, the Chicago Bears. But I'm very curious to see how all of this pans out with that. If I'm being perfectly honest, I think right now, given the injuries that the Packers have, I still think that they're going to limp into the playoffs, but I don't think that they're going to catch the Bears. Maybe this is my Chicago cynicism here, but I could see a situation where the Bears miss the playoffs entirely and the Lions and the Packers sneak in, but I could also see a scenario where the Bears get in. If, in a perfect scenario, I think the Packers don't make the playoffs, but I could also see a scenario where any one of these teams could. But if I'm making an official pick, I think the Packers are not going to win out because just between the Christian Watson and the Michael Parsons injuries, I don't think it looks good. I think it's pretty easy to say that the Los Angeles Rams are probably the best team in the NFC, probably the best team in football right now. Their defense is sneaky good. Matthew Stafford is playing at an incredible level. All their skill players are really good. I think Devontae Adams stepping up has been doing some amazing work. But then you've got Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams as well. So a lot of great stuff from the Los Angeles Rams. And that's who I'm picking ultimately to make it out of the NFC, which would mean Rams versus Bills. And I'm going with the Rams because the defense is just markedly better from that. But those are my NFL hot takes, I suppose, or at least NFL questions. So, or just things that I'm thinking about. What do you think? Who do you think is going to make it out of the playoffs or who's going to make it into the playoffs for the NFC and AFC? Let me know in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Sportsball. Be sure to like, rate, and subscribe to anything and everything SPDM Crew wherever you get your podcast. Join us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, X, Threads, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Blue Sky at SPDM Crew. Check out our website. A shout out to HiFlyer Creative. Shout out to HiFlyer Creative Studios for making our awesome logo. Greatly appreciate their support. And if you've got any marketing, logo, or brand standard needs, contact them at HiFlyerCreative.com. Check out the other shows on our network. We've got a lot of great content. Really proud of the work that everyone's doing. So please check out the other shows on the SPDM Crew podcasting network. And finally, if you've got a podcast idea or you're interested in being part of the SPDM Crew as a guest or collaborating, email us at spdmcrew@gmail.com. Until next time, pain heals, friendship sticks,